life insurance will do for black people is it will allow us to take back our wealth. The wealth that was built upon our backs. One of the most wealthiest nations ever to exist was created off the labor of African Americans. When slavery ended, an agreement was struck to give us some of that wealth back. But President Andrew Johnson eliminated former slaves getting 40 acres and a mule. So they treat us like economic commodities. They insure. Do you realize that slave masters took out insurance on their slaves so that if a slave died, ran away, anything, was killed, they received compensation for our lives? They then turn around and make us criminals, brand us as criminals, so that all types of atrocities can happen to us, separating us so that they can make sure that we continue to stay as laborers for their wealth. The only asset that we have is our lives. Insure them and make them pay for taking our lives. That money, that death benefit that can be given to your family is your 40 acres and a mule. One of the things that's important to realize for black people is that we as a people have misunderstood life insurance. We think it's just something to pay for funeral costs when you die. When I talk about life insurance to people, they usually say, "Oh, I already got that covered," or "I got that on my job." No, you don't. You have life insurance on your job, but as soon as you leave your job, you're no longer covered because the life insurance goes with the job. You need your own life insurance policy that you own and that you control. And if all you can afford is term, then get it for 20 or 30 years and keep paying that money. That money is worth it. Now, the other misconception about life insurance is that, well, I won't get to benefit from it. That's such a selfish attitude, especially when you have a family and you have a culture that loves, cares, and supports you. But the reality is that life insurance, permanent life insurance, not only benefits the beneficiaries, but it also benefits the insured. Life insurance is one of the greatest wealth generators ever to be created. It's also the best way to transfer wealth from one person to the next person. Life insurance is the primary tool in estate planning. What happens is that wealthy people, smart wealthy people, don't give assets to their kids. Smart wealthy people don't give the house and the cars and the boats and the stocks and jewelry and the paintings. They don't give this stuff to their kids. What they do is they buy life insurance equivalent to the value of the stuff, and they give the life insurance to the kids. So if I own $10 million worth of stuff, it's a mistake to leave all of that to my children in the form of a will. What makes more financial sense is I buy a life insurance policy that insures my life for $10 million, and then I give that to my kids. Why? Because life insurance passes income tax free to a beneficiary. They don't have to pay any taxes on it. Whereas if I gave them $10 million worth of stuff, my beneficiaries would immediately have a taxable event, causing them to pay taxes on all that stuff that I've already bought and paid taxes on. A $10 million life insurance policy going tax-free to my beneficiaries will allow them to then buy my $10 million worth of stuff from my estate. And in doing so, they step up what's known as their cost basis, what they actually paid for that item. Why is this important? Because anytime you sell anything, the difference between your cost basis and what you sell it for, you have to pay taxes on. So if mom and dad leave a house where let's say they bought it for $50,000 years ago. And let's say that house is now worth $250,000. When they leave it to their kids, their children have to pay taxes on the difference between $50,000 and $250,000. In this example, they have to pay taxes on $200,000. What usually happens is that people are not prepared that, and they have to sell the house, liquidate the house in order to pay the taxes that are due. When they receive life insurance, that's tax-free. And then they turn around and buy mom's and dad's $250,000 house for $250,000. And they give it to mom and dad's estate. They get the house with a stepped up, what's called a stepped up cost basis, so that if the kids ever sell that house, want to do something different, they now only have to pay taxes that are due from what their cost basis was, $250,000, to whatever they sell it, maybe $300,000. And all they have to do is pay the taxes on the difference between there. That's one reason to buy life insurance.